Jeremy Clarkson on Richard Hammond and James May farm visit. Jeremy Clarkson has revealed whether his former co-hosts Richard Hammond and James May have visited his famous Diddley Squat farm yet. It would seem that hasn't been the case, especially after a trivial threat from May. A recent clip on TikTok resurfaced where Clarkson's farm star Caleb Cooper could be seen asking Clarkson questions. Cooper asked, "Have Richard and James been to the farm to visit? If so, what do they make of it?" Clarkson responded, "No, they're banned, both of them. Everyone's welcome except those two. James once threatened to land his light aircraft on one of the fields. I would have shot him down if he tried." The trio are well known for jokingly pretending they hate each other and have all banned each other from pubs or other premises over the past few months since the Grand Tour ended. The trio worked on BBC's Top Gear before banding together once more for Prime Video's The Grand Tour. After working together for 22 years, the trio called in quits professionally in July with the dissolving of their production company, which made the shows W. Chump and Sons. One last Grand Tour special aired back in September documenting trips to Zimbabwe and Botswana, but now two of the members have reunited. Now speaking to the Radio Times this week, May was asked about what his relationship with Jeremy and Richard was like now they are no longer filming the Grand Tour. "I've spoken to them a few times and I suspect we'll go out for a beer somewhere," he said. "Just because we can, not because we have to come up with some gags, plan a road trip or choose some cars, but for the hell of it. It'd be quite interesting." Jeremy Clarkson opens up about Richard Hammond and James May's memorable farm visit. Jeremy Clarkson, former Top Gear presenter and renowned television personality, recently reflected on an unforgettable moment from his farm's early days, sharing insights about his co-hosts, Richard Hammond and James May, during a recent interview. The trio, who were inseparable during their time on the iconic BBC show, reunited for a visit to Clarkson's sprawling farm in Oxfordshire, which has become the backdrop for their hit Amazon Prime series, The Grand Tour. In his usual candid style, Clarkson revealed a mix of humor, warmth, and good-natured rivalry between the three of them during the visit. A long-lasting friendship, the friendship between Clarkson, Hammond, and May has always been one of the most beloved aspects of Top Gear and their subsequent project, The Grand Tour. From their unforgettable road trips to their shared mischievous antics, the trio's camaraderie has been the backbone of the show's success. However, their recent farm visit revealed even more of the personal side to their relationship. Clarkson, who has often spoken about the difficulties of managing his own farm, acknowledged that it was no easy feat running a business of that scale. But when it comes to his former colleagues, Clarkson's remarks showed that the dynamic remains unchanged. "We've been through a lot together. Yes, the farm's a disaster in many ways, but it's also funny as hell when I get these two down here," Clarkson remarked, with his signature wit. James May, of course, would try to bring a lecture about efficiency and do everything by the book, which is utterly pointless on a farm where everything is chaotic. Meanwhile, Richard Hammond would try to be helpful, but just ends up making everything worse, usually with a muddy boot or a bent piece of machinery. While Clarkson tends to be more direct and no-nonsense, Hammond's upbeat personality and eagerness to lend a hand often result in hilarious mishaps. Hammond is like a puppy. He's always running around trying to help, but usually, that means even more work for me, Clarkson chuckled. Farm troubles and laughter. Clarkson's farming venture has been well documented through the series Clarkson's Farm, where he has faced various challenges, from managing livestock to dealing with unpredictable weather. During the farm visit, Hammond and May were quick to tease Clarkson about his lack of farming expertise. Clarkson, who owns the farm after purchasing it in 2008, had no previous experience with farming before he took on the project, which has proven to be an entertaining yet educational experience for both Clarkson and his audience. "I can't believe I actually went along with it," Clarkson admitted during the interview. "I thought farming was just growing a few crops, but the reality is so much more complicated. Having the two of them here was almost more stress than it was worth, but they helped me realize how much I really don't know." While the trio shared laughs at Clarkson's expense, their light-hearted banter was also a reminder of their bond. "I was a bit worried that we might be too old for all of this, But Hammond and May still haven't lost their sense of humor, Clarkson added. In fact, I'm starting to wonder if the Grand Tour could just be three of us failing miserably on the farm for a few more seasons. James May, the voice of reason May, who has often been referred to as the voice of reason between the trio, found himself in a position to offer calm advice during the farm visit. Known for his methodical approach and slightly eccentric personality, May was keen to point out various farming techniques to Clarkson, often offering more sensible solutions. However, Clarkson couldn't resist poking fun at his fellow presenter, calling May the walking, talking Wikipedia of farming advice. Despite their friendly ribbing, it was clear that May's suggestions were often the most practical. He really does know his stuff, but I think his version of farming is more about how to make things look tidy, Clarkson teased. But then again, who cares if a tractor is parked neatly or if the cows are in the right pen? You need a certain level of chaos here to make things work. Clarkson even praised May for the patience he showed in handling the situations that inevitably arose. James could have easily lost his mind at the absolute disaster that is my farm, but instead, he just gets on with it. It's a talent of his, Clarkson noted. The farm visit. A humorous recap: the visit to Clarkson's farm was filled with laughter, old jokes, and plenty of chaos. Hammond and May both took the opportunity to bring up some of their old pranks, even attempting to set Clarkson up for a few mishaps. We've still got it, haven't we? Hammond laughed. This place is a disaster, but it's just like Top Gear all over again. You have to make everything into a competition, and Jeremy always comes out on top, mostly because he's the one with the farm. The visit, although humorous, also highlighted the trio's enduring friendship and the deep respect they hold for one another. Though the trio might now be in their 60s, they still have a natural chemistry that makes their interactions as entertaining as ever. Clarkson concluded the conversation with a heartfelt tribute to their friendship. I never thought we'd still be doing this all these years later, but I'm glad we are. The farm might be falling apart, but we're still making memories. In the end, while the farm remains a work in progress, the visit from Hammond and May showed that Clarkson's adventures in farming will be far from boring. Whether it's battling unpredictable weather, struggling to run machinery, or handling mischievous animals, the trio's dynamic continues to shine through, reminding fans that sometimes, the greatest fun comes from failure. Looking ahead, more laughs on the horizon as Clarkson's farm journey continues to unfold. It's clear that the trio's involvement will remain a staple of the farm's chaotic charm. Clarkson recently hinted at future collaborations with May and Hammond, expressing interest in having them return to the farm for more episodes. If they don't mind the muck and the madness, we might just have another season of the Grand Tour down on the farm. Let's just hope no one gets hurt this time. The friendship between Clarkson, Hammond, and May is as strong as ever, and fans can rest assured that the trio's dynamic will remain a key feature of both the Grand Tour and Clarkson's future farm escapades.